Good evening, everyone. I'm gonna make another video today. I haven't made more than one today. I made one, I think, yesterday. So here we go. Yeah, the Watchtower Bible Tract Society. It's really interesting because they say, well, I won't say they, I'll say, I believe it was Russell that said that religion is a snare and a racket. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure if you ask any Jehovah's Witness, they would say their religion is Jehovah's Witness. That's their religion. So by default, it would be a snare and a racket based on the fact that that's what Russell said. Their religion is a snare and a racket. And they say they're the only true religion. So I guess that means they're truly a snare and truly a racket. And anyway, I was just thinking about how just growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, and I was watching some new videos, a lot of new people on YouTube posting videos, which is really, really great to see. I think the name of the video I watched was Closed-Minded Jehovah's Witness, and the channel would be Pop Brooklyn 1, and he had really a lot of cool things to say. I enjoy watching that video. But after watching it and just looking at other videos, I just really thought about, growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. And I've said this before in other videos, that you think you've moved past so much of it, and that, surely nothing else can bother you or, upset you or just make your life a little harder. But you have to realize, these people pulled our strings and moved us around for so many years with mind control and the ways they tried to control us, that, even though the strings have been removed, some of that is still lingering, and we're all still picking ourselves up and trying to control our own lives, trying to direct our own paths. And I thought about it. I was in a car accident recently, and I thought about the fact that, basically when your car is wrecked, and my car is basically new, one of the laws, it's not in all states, but some states have a diminished value law, which means that even after they fix your car, they feel, which is true, that your car has lost value, so they pay you the diminished value of the vehicle, because you're never going to be able to go back to how it was before, where the car was new, because now it's been damaged. Even though it's been repaired, it'll never be factory new like you had it before. And I think about that about my life, and growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. It's like I never had an opportunity to have different choices. Those choices were taken away. All of my choices were taken away from me for at least, I would say, 18 years of my life were taken away from me. And even after that time frame, when I was trying to, live my life and find my way and, just be in the real world, you've been taught so many things, that everyone in the world is bad. You're like a sheep being sent out to slaughter. All those things that you're told, it takes you some time to try to navigate that and determine who you are and be able to feel comfortable in your own skin and be happy with yourself. But even after you've done all those things, you still feel very, you're happy. But, you always kind of wonder, what if I wouldn't had this exposure to this awful cult? What would my life be like now? Not even what will my life be like now, but I feel like my life has been diminished. You know what I'm saying? I want them to pay me for the fact that my life's been diminished. That some of the happiness that I could have had, or the unconditional love that I should have received, I didn't get it. And why? Because their organization preaches conditional love. If you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then you're okay. If you don't do that, then I don't know. We might disfellowship you. We might, I don't know, publicly reprove you, privately reprove you. And it doesn't matter. However you're reproved, the elder's wife is going to hear it, and she's going to spread it all over the Kingdom Hall anyway, so nothing is ever private. And I think Pop Brooklyn was talking about how, they rule by fear. And that's so true. They rule by fear. And especially for kids, growing up, you're afraid that anything you do is, you're going to be destroyed directly by Jehovah. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure how many current Jehovah's Witnesses actually view my channel. But I'm sure that there are some that do, that look at my channel. But that fear that they try to instill in you when you're a kid, it's awful. It's really bad. I can say to this day, I still have issues with surrounding that fear, surrounding anxiety, surrounding all of that. And that's diminished the level of happiness I feel like that I could have in my life. Not that I'm not happy, but I feel like I'd be happier if I didn't have that thing to deal with. And I feel like I deserve that. I deserve to have that given back to me. Or I deserve compensation for that. Because I really don't see the Watchtower Bible Tract Society other than anything than a business. That's what it is. They promised me that I would never grow up and the new system would be here. They didn't make good on their promise. So since it didn't happen, I feel as if, hey, you lied. You need to pay for that lie. Because it's a lot of people who bet on that. They didn't go to school. They didn't pursue things, based on these lies that you told them. And I don't care how you want to spin it. A lie is just that. When you don't tell the truth, when you say something and it doesn't come to pass and you're saying that it's supposed to, you lied. I mean, I would love to be able to go into court or any other place where you would have to tell the truth and say, oh, and the judge or someone catches you in the lie and you say, oh, no, sorry, judge, I have new light. What I told you before was old light. This is new light. So it's not a lie, it's new light. I mean, that is like the shadiest thing. I just wonder sometimes the governing body, they have their meetings. I mean, I think even Raymond Franz even said that it was meetings that they had that really affected people's lives. And they really didn't, think about them too difficult. No, that person can't have blood, they must die. They just kind of done, I just wonder how many of them, when they're on their deathbed or if they needed blood, would they not take it just so they could live longer? And not let any of the other witnesses know that they probably had this, blood transfusion or, controversial operation that maybe that if other witnesses knew that they did that would make them look kind of bad. But I mean, I just wonder at the end of their life, and everyone has a different belief system, and I don't expect everyone to believe the way that I do, but at the end of their life, when they have to stand before God, what are they going to say? These are millions of people who we've put them in harm's way. Millions of people. Millions of people that we've put in harm's way by our blood policies. Thousands of children put in harm's way by just placing them in the proximity of pedophiles. How do you negotiate that in your mind? How is that okay? It's okay because you're greedy and you don't care. That's just the bottom line. You're greedy and you do not care. You absolutely don't care. Every time I read new stuff about this organization, it literally makes me feel sick to my stomach to find out that they have the same attorney that the Church of Scientology has. Are you kidding me? Wow. They want to hold on to their publishers as hard as they can because they know that if they lose them, that's their money. I mean, my thing is that you guys are already playing craps. You're already playing, you're already at the gambling table. You're playing with money by having these hedge funds. You don't need the publishers. Cut them loose. You make your money on your, be a business, make your money. I just don't want you to be a charity. Make your money and leave people alone. I mean, you're a printing company. Oh, I forgot. I was about to say, well, maybe you could come up with something to print, but that would take a extensive knowledge base and people who had skill and talent for you to do that. You just don't have that as a part of your whole situation. So I don't know if you could do anything other than scam people out of their money and just make people have an overall horrible existence. I mean, I feel sorry for Jehovah's Witnesses that are active Jehovah's Witnesses, those that are trapped inside, that can't get out, that are staying in for their family. I mean, if someone told me right now that I did not have a choice and I had to go back to being a Jehovah's Witness, I could easily say I would rather die with no hesitation. Because being inside of that is like death in itself. You're not able to think for you. You're just a puppet. You're just their little puppet. They move the strings, and that's how you live. That's all I have to say for tonight. Good night.